Did you know that Hitler served in World War I, or that poison gas was first used as a weapon in that war? Here are 8 interesting facts about World War I you may not know. World War I was full of surprises. Even today, many things about it remain unknown. It was one of the most significant wars in history, lasting from 1914 to 1918. Millions of soldiers died and many new technologies were used for the first time. From poison gas to air raids, some truly incredible stories lie beneath the surface of this conflict. Discover 8 fascinating and lesser known facts about this momentous conflict. Hello! Welcome to Curiosity Corner. Please help us by subscribing and hitting the like button. Let's get into it. Number 1. World War I began in 1914 and ended in 1918. The First World War, also known as World War I and the Great War, was a global conflict that lasted from 1914 to 1918. It involved most of the world's nations, including the great powers. It led to more than 9 million soldiers and 10 million civilian deaths. In Europe, the war began in August 1914 after Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Within weeks, Russia, France, and Britain mobilized their troops to support Serbia and Russia. Germany then declared war on France and Belgium to protect its ally Austria-Hungary. The United States entered the war in 1917 after German submarines, the U-boats, sank American merchant ships. The war finally ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, with an armistice, a formal agreement to stop fighting, signed by all sides in 1918. Number 2. More than 9 million soldiers died in World War I. The use of newly developed technologies and tactics such as tanks and machine guns resulted in World War I being one of the deadliest conflicts in history. More than 9 million lost their lives during the conflict. The casualties had a devastating impact on families and communities across the world, leaving many in mourning and feeling helpless. The scale of death has left a lasting legacy that cannot be forgotten, reminding us of the sacrifices made for peace to prevail. Number 3. The first tanks were used in World War I. The first tanks were used in World War I, revolutionizing technology and warfare. It was a remarkable advancement, changing the nature of battle as we know it. Tanks could move faster while providing excellent protection to soldiers and weaponry. This groundbreaking technology not only gave troops an edge on the battlefield, but also marked a significant milestone in military technology that paved the way for future innovations. From that moment forward, technology continued to evolve and improve how war is waged. The tank's impact was genuinely revolutionary. This technology continues to evolve and be used in many conflicts worldwide. Tanks remain an integral part of modern warfare, providing a potent mix of mobility, firepower, and protection for troops on the ground. With each new advancement, the technology behind tanks is pushed even further, allowing for greater operational efficiency and effectiveness in combat situations. Tanks have come a long way since their introduction in World War I and will continue to play an important role in military operations worldwide for years to come. Number 4. The first air raids took place during World War I. The first air raids took place during World War I, ushering in a new era of warfare. For the first time, aircraft were used for offensive attacks on enemy ground positions. While primitive at first, the air raids soon evolved into a highly effective strategy that would be employed by both sides throughout World War I and beyond. The development of aerial combat introduced an exciting dynamic to military operations and changed how wars were fought. World War I marked the beginning of a revolution in warfare that continues to shape battle tactics today. The use of air raids to target enemy troops, infrastructure, and morale significantly impacted how World War I was fought. Allowing attacks from the sky opened up new ways for militaries to launch assaults and gain an advantage over their opponents. Both sides of the conflict employed aerial combat tactics throughout the war. The advances made during World War I revolutionized warfare and paved the way for even more sophisticated strategies and tactics that are still used today. The introduction of air raids marked a decisive moment in military history. It served to change the landscape of war forever. Its legacy continues to shape how we fight and defend our nations today. Number 5. Poison gas was first used as a weapon in World War I. During World War I, several chemicals were weaponized, and France was the first to use gas. They did so by deploying tear gas in August 1914 using either xylyl bromide or ethyl bromoacetate. These liquids are colorless and must be atomized to disperse them as weapons. Tear gas causes severe tearing and irritation of the eyes, temporary blindness, and difficulty breathing. It is not an effective weapon against groups of enemy soldiers because its symptoms only last for 30 minutes after contact. The German gas warfare program was created and led by Fritz Haber. His first weapon was chlorine, which he used for the first time at Ypres in April 1915. Chlorine is approximately 2.5 times denser than air. It is pale green and has an odor described as smelling like a combination of pineapple and pepper. If chlorine gas comes into contact with water in the lungs, it reacts to form hydrochloric acid. This is extremely dangerous as it can lead to death or permanent lung damage and disability. Even at lower concentrations, chlorine gas can cause coughing, vomiting, and eye irritation. During World War I, soldiers who were not protected from chlorine gas exposure would often die quickly, sometimes within minutes. It's estimated that over 1,100 people were killed during its first use at Ypres. Ironically, the Germans didn't expect such deadly results and missed their chance to gain an advantage on the battlefield. Poison gas marked a dark and gloomy turning point in the history of warfare. It heralded a new era of devastating and inhumane conflict and saw over 90,000 soldiers killed. Not only did these weapons cause immense physical suffering for those caught in their midst and inflicted psychological scarring that lasted long after the war had ended. The heinousness of using poison gas as a weapon still lingers today, as we remember the terrible consequences it brought about during World War I. Number 6. The Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, formally ending World War I, marking a great success for the global community. It marked the beginning of a new era of peace in which countries sought to work together instead of fighting one another. The Treaty of Versailles was a crucial moment in history. Its successful negotiation signaled hope for a future without World War I and other world wars. With the signing of this treaty, the world could look forward to building a more peaceful and prosperous future. The Treaty of Versailles was a significant milestone in international relations following World War I, ushering in an era of renewed optimism and collaboration among nations. Through its successful negotiation, governments could put aside their differences and work towards common goals. This tremendous success is a testament to what can be achieved. Number 7. Adolf Hitler was a soldier during World War I. Adolf Hitler was a soldier in World War I and was decorated for bravery on several occasions. He fought in the Battle of the Somme and was injured during a British gas attack at Ypres in October 1918. After being discharged from the hospital, he returned to Germany determined to enter politics and promote his nationalist agenda. His experiences in World War I only intensified his anti-Semitic views, leading him to become one of the most controversial figures of the 20th century. In 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany and imposed authoritarian control over much of Europe. Number 8. Christmas truce happened during Christmas 1914. Christmas truce happened during Christmas 1914 of World War I. It was a special day in history when troops from both sides of the conflict laid down their arms to celebrate the holiday and share some goodwill with each other. Soldiers from opposing forces met in no man's land and shook hands, exchanged gifts, sang carols, played games, and even engaged in small football matches. During an otherwise devastating war, this moment of peace and camaraderie united over 100,000 soldiers who participated in the Christmas truce. The story has been told for generations. It serves as a reminder of the power of human kindness and compassion, even amid great suffering. The spirit of the Christmas truce lives on today as we strive to spread peace throughout our world. We must continue to commemorate the casualties of World War I and remember those who bravely gave their lives for our freedom. May we never forget them. Until the next video, and stay curious!